Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Now today we're going to do something different, as you can tell from the title. We're going to make cola bread. Now, first thing I'll say is, this is an experiment, an untested experiment, so it may turn out to be absolutely awful. However, that doesn't mean we're not going to try. Now, before you ask, I'm not using an oven. I'm going to cheat and use this. A bread maker. Now, of course, the first thing we need to do is get a sterilising tablet. Of course, we need to sterilise it because hygiene. You've got to remember that the bread maker deals with extreme temperatures and food, which means it's a breeding ground for all sorts of germs and dust and other assorted crap. So, let's see if we can find it. Where are we? I know they're in here somewhere. I should really know where these things are. Ah, here we go. Sorry for the close-up, people. We need some sterilising tablets. Now these ones, the ones that I use, are ideally used for baby bottles. But I am going to use it for a pen because, as you can see, it kills 99.9% of germs. And what you do is, it's actually hard with one hand. You get one of these, and if I can put this here, now you can see we are going to, there we go. That wasn't so hard, was it? Open up, let's get this a bit closer. And I'll show you the inside. See? This is the inside. Now, these marks here are knife marks made by me because one time I tried to make rice bread. Actually, looking at this, these are proper clean anyway. So it's just as well I'm doing this actually. Now the knife marks, as I was going to say, was made by me. One time a loaf got stuck in there and I had this great idea of sticking a knife in and seeing if I could get it out. It wasn't a great idea. So if we take out the turning thing and we put our little mixer up here, we open up the tablet like so, and we stick it in, and what we do is we add an amount of water. I don't know how much really you're supposed to put in. I suppose really less is better, but now look at it fizz. Now obviously you're not going to watch this whole process because it takes time. So with the magic power of editing, I'm going to make it night train to London, night train to the end, running hard and running fast, awake my future and awake from my past, taking a chance that cannot last, night train to the end. Come on, there we go. Now, as you can tell, this looks infinitely better. And I feel infinitely better knowing that it is clean. So the next thing we need to do is check our ingredients. Now, I'm going to be making the basic raisin. Now, how does this make cola bread? Well, what I'm going to do is, the raisin is going to be there for sweet because it's a sweet bread. But what I'm going to do is, see this bit here where it says water, 400 mils. I'm going to replace that with cola. And I have it here, my, as I cover up the brand, Classic Cola. It cost me less than £1. It admittedly probably doesn't taste as good as the regular colas, but it'll do the job. And I don't want to be seen as, you know, encouraging anything. I also got my flour. First, we add the yeast. Now, the thing says 1 1/4 teaspoons. I need some more of this actually. No, we shall do it. See if I can get this. That'll be 1. Which already counts as a quarter. That'll do, I think. 1 1/4 teaspoons. We need 600 grams of strong white bread flour. Why it has to be strong? I don't actually know. Let's see if I can get that better. That's a bit better. Makes it look fancy. So let's get the scales out. Now, in case you're wondering, normally, right now, I'd have the radio on. Or some form of entertainment to pass the time. But unfortunately, due to copyright, I can't do that. I suppose I could put some stop music on, but this is more about the moment. Now, one thing I will say, if you have a device that takes batteries and it doesn't use them a lot, try to take them out in between uses. I find it makes things slightly cleaner when the batteries go. It causes a few less complications. And we get out Mr. Here we go. Mr. Lid. Turn it on. On. Damn thing doesn't want to work. That'll be why I put one of the batteries in the wrong way. Silly me, eh? Right. That should be. Now I do it slightly further away because it looks a bit claustrophobic otherwise. And we put the lid on. Okay, change that to grams. See? It's on grams. You can just about see it's on grams now. So we do that. Let's do. There we go, it's better. And so we have the strong white bread flour. Now I've got this one in a supermarket. All the other brands available. And because it's a big scale, we might not be able to get 600 in immediately, so we might have to do it in 2 lots. But we'll get a load in. And we smooth it out. 336. So we need more. So we can get to about 400. Okay, 460. Okay, let's see how that gets us. Okay, that's 460 grams. So that needs 140 more. So stick that. So as you can see, we stick that in very slowly so as not to cause a mess. Out, put that there, and we need another 140. Was it 160? No, it's 140. It's 460 grams. I know that. Yeah, it's a bit too much, so we add. So we kind of spoon some out. Oh, perfect. Now I have 140 grams. Don't worry about the mess. You clean that up afterwards, not as you go, as I've found out. Okay. Okay, next up we have butter, 40 grams. I don't have butter. What I have is spread substitute, and that's the one. Now, a little trick my mother taught me when doing this. You get... Okay, I don't have any tissue here. I shall return. And I'm back. Now, as I was going to say, you want a tissue for this bit. Because, as my mother taught me, if you put the spread in on the tissue, then you don't have to clean up all the butter afterwards. But in this case, we are using something called Heavenly Buttery Light. It's a lesser known brand. Put that to 0. And we have got to put in 40 grams. So I'm not here what 40 grams, so let's have a look. 31. 38. Typical. No, that's still 38. $43, typical. Alright, then let's see if I can get rid of some of this off. That's 41. A little bit more. Perfect. 40 grams. So we stick that in as well. Actually, let's get rid of this because it kind of blocks the view. That's better. Do that. And you kind of spoon off what you can from here. Use that to clean the spoon because you'll be wanting that later. Or at least get most of the butter off anyway. Or in this case, value spread. Times like this, I really wish I had a camera person with me. That'd be better than me doing it like this. Unfortunately, this is the best spot. This is the best angle. Also makes it look fatty. In case you're wanting this bump here, this is a blood pressure monitor. I mentioned this on a previous video. So you can tell what day I'm actually doing this. Right. Next up, we have sugar. We're not doing the sugar because we're putting in cola, which has a ton of sugar as it is. We have 2 teaspoons of salt. Now, I never like using too much salt because, you know, I have high blood pressure. So we're going to go with 1 and a bit. 1 and something anyway. I think the salt is mostly from preservation. But if this is any good, we'll be eating this. I'll be eating this, I should say, very quickly. And I just remembered this salt has pepper in it, so it's useless. Okay, let me get some new salt. Okay, I'm back, and despite how it looks, I have different salt now. One that doesn't have pepper in it. So let's try and go for a teaspoon and a bit. That's a bit. And a little bit more. Okay, it's not quite 2, but it's something. And next we have water and raisins. We don't have raisins, we have sultanas. Same difference in my opinion. Looking good. Tasty. I like sultanas. Should really eat them more. They're healthy. Yeah, let's do this again. Let's actually turn the scales on this time. 1 grams. Okay, 120 grams. Can you go for it? Okay, that's 100. Actually, that's better because I remember last time I made this bread, it wasn't very sultana-y. So I've got a few more this time. And last but not least, we have the secret ingredient that's going to make this bread the experimenter is cola. Now this is freshly opened, so you've got to be careful. Make sure it doesn't fizz everywhere, because sometimes they do that. Okay, 400 mils, let's have a look. Here we go, I can see the 400 mark. Now, because it's new, it's going to fizz over a fair bit, so you've got to be very careful to get this right. Have another sultana, shall we? I did say this wasn't going to be an eating channel. Actually, I thought about doing that for an April Fool's joke. That's just a great idea. I was just going to say, new direction for the channel. From now on, you just watch me eat. Since all the cool kids are doing that. And you know what? I completely forgot when April Fool's came. Oh well. Probably for the best, actually, because April Fool's jokes usually end up hurting the YouTuber more than the viewer. Because sometimes viewers will think, is this the direction I really want the channel to go in? And they unsubscribe, and then they realise later on it was actually a joke. And they missed it. Okay. Almost at 400. Perfect. Okay. Okay, let's get that out of the way. And what we do is, we pour it in. Now, I know what you're saying, James. Don't you need to mix all this stuff? No. That's the beauty of the bread mixer, you see, because it does it all for you. All you gotta do is put the ingredients in. And hopefully this doesn't go horribly wrong. Okay. So we have, excuse me. I'm not an amateur, I promise you. Alright. Need to plug this in. Open up. And we stick it in. And hopefully this goes to plan. We shut it down. Just so you can see properly. It's now shut down. And what we do next is, if you have a look, got all your things on here. So you go to your numbers. This case we are doing menu number 3, the basic raisin, 4 hours. You have your bread size, so you want medium, large, extra large, and you get your crust. You want it barely done, slightly bare done, or actually no, just get the 2. Well, I like a harder crust, so we're going to go with that. And then you press Mr. Button. And now you wait. In this case, you wait 4 whole hours before it's done. And hopefully, if you're still watching this, you'll see, so you can look at me now, hopefully some good bread. See you soon, everyone. Now, in case you're wondering, this is what it looks like when it's kneading the bread. Normally I or the person making the bread would do this, but the good thing about the bread maker that it does it for you. Now it does sort of look like it's trying to come alive, and it may just, you know, turn into something life on. It may try to eat me at some point, but it won't do. It's just how it looks. But looking at this, and bear in mind it's, oh no, I thought I was about to say it stopped because I'm opened up, but judging by this, it's looking pretty good so far. Although I was slightly skeptical when I first saw it resting, I'm actually kind of hopeful now. But we shall see. I am going to shut this now and let it get on with its thing. James shall return when it's ready. Now, while I'm here, I thought I'll show you the, not quite finished right, but this is what it looks like before baking. Actually looks just like normal bread at the moment, with raisins on the top, which will most likely get burnt, but what can you do? Not bad though, I will say. Not bad at all. So, there it is. My bread. As you can tell, it's soft on top. Actually, it's soft on the bottom, but it's just darker. All the brownness has gone, no. Well, you can see. I have no idea what it is. Quite frankly, I'm amazed it turned out, because I was getting very skeptical at one point about this. I really was. But you know what? Seems to have worked out. Of course, this isn't the end, of course. There is the taste test to come later, but at moment it's hot, so I'm going to have to leave it for several hours, and instead we'll try to put a tea towel on it. Look. I'll show you. Look. It's a little chihuahua in a sombrero, and it says, I'll show you better. Look, I want to tuckle about it. I think it's a neat little pun. Right, I shall return for the taste test. Well, as you can see, the bread is done. It's been cooked, and it's been about 4 hours, maybe 3.5 or so. Now, one thing I will say about this bread is that it is very heavy. I mean, listen to that. Raw bread should not make that noise. Now, I think that might be partly due to custom, partly due to the cola being very heavy. Now, this baby here, this sharp thing here, is my bread knife. So I'm going to try, let's see if I can get this right. So the selfie stick is between my legs at the moment. So see if I can do this properly. And no, I can't. So let's see if I can cut this right. If I can get that there. Times like this, I could really use a third hand. You know, one that would hold the bread. That's it. See if I can get further out. No, you can. No, I can't go further out. So what I'm going to do is, I'll put that there. There we go, that's better. And the bread is cut. Now, still a little bit warm inside, but you'll see I'm okay to touch this bread because it's my bread and I have washed my hands. Now, let's have a look. See, it looks like a regular slice of bread. Not much else one can really say about it. You can actually kind of smell the cola, I think, or that could be the Sultanas. I'm not sure which. But there it is. There is the bread. And now I shall eat it. There we go. Bread. Now, I did say this was going to be an eating channel. I did warn you. So, if you don't want to see me eating, so I'm going to put a warning on the screen with a timer. So that when it's done, you can actually see, you can actually skip to the correct bit. Or even put it in the YouTube chat as if I remember. So if I were you, I'm about to eat this. Okay, so in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's eat. That's good. That's actually really good. That's a good street bread. That's a really good street bread. This is really good. How about that? It's a tad stodgy, but I did put slightly more than 400 mils of cola in, by the way. So, might work. So I thought, you know, with it fizzing up and everything, and I thought just a little bit more won't hurt. That's good. Spongy, I think, is a word. Bounces back. And it's good. So, yeah. Cola Sultana bread was a success. Right. I'm going to go finish this on my own. If you don't like eating and you just decide to turn around, I will soon be finished. So, let's see. Okay. I'm done eating now. I'm not actually finished the bread, but I'm done eating for the video. So, a success. Something did happen today. Yay! And if you want to do this yourself, I recommend you do so. Get out there, buy some flowers and other ingredients and have some fun. Until next time, bye.